Can you move this microphone?
Oh, yeah.
Hi, everybody. I don't have the mic hooked up yet, but we're going to hook it up so that way this is dulled down a little bit. So, 2 seconds. But until then, hello, welcome. We're going to long arm quilt. And uh, just working on this lap quilt.
Come on, Tiffany.
I don't usually say and,
Come on.
Okay.
Suck it up.
All right. Give me 2 seconds.
You didn't even tell me it was on.
That's on. Yeah.
Well, I have to find it and everything.
So do I.
You gotta tell me it's on.
Just slide that down there and hook this right here. Okay, now we should have better sound. Better sound? Sure, why not? Let me shove this into my brassiere. There we go. All right, so let's see who is all here in a second, because technically I don't even have this. Oh, there it is. Right there. I didn't even have this open. We got Dawn, Michelle, Dawn, Susie, Tammy, Kathy, Catherine, Kim, Diane, Tony, let's see, Mary, Liz, Tammy, Dawn, Anita. All right, hello everybody. So I have this cute baby quilt. I'm going to show you it. I know I'm randomly on on a Saturday, but I felt like, hey, I'm quilting. I might as well bring you guys along with. So I made this little quilt with cutesy fabric. It was scraps, and I put it together and decided, it's time to quilt it. So I am going to put you on the mount, and we're going to quilt this up. So let's go to the mount, and the camera is going to move and shake and, all that kind of stuff. I'm quilting with a mint colored thread, so hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm quilting. And hopefully, just in case you guys didn't know, this mount shakes. So if you have eyeball shaking issues, I'm sorry in advance. All right. So here we go. I'm going to quilt some roses on here, except I'm not going to do my wiggly rose that you've seen me probably do in past videos. I'm actually going to grab a piece of paper and show you real quickly. Here's a piece of paper. Let me undo my needle so that I can put the camera where I need it. All right. So that wasn't even a whole entire piece of paper. So I'm going to come in like this. I'm not a very good drawer, okay? Just letting you know. And then I am going to come out, out. I'm going to never mind that line. Then I'm going to travel back on this. And then travel back on this. And I could just keep going around. They won't be as tight seaming like on the, when I'm quilting it. And then when I get beyond where I've come in to make my circle, I will throw a leaf in, out and throw a leaf in. And then I will, once I finish that leaf, I will find a way out and then swirl around until I start my next one. And then it'll just be right here. Normally, I usually do this. I make a circle and then I just wiggle around it. Today, we're going to do this instead. So hopefully you'll be able to see it, and hopefully you understand what I was just trying to show you. I'm not the best when it comes to drawing out my designs. That one just doesn't work properly. All right, and Scott can see the chat. I cannot. So if you have any questions, ask him, and then he'll ask me. if I can hear him past the sound of the long arm. All right. And I've had these questions before on long arm videos saying that my quilt looks tight. It's actually not tight at all. Here's a finger. I'm going to stick it underneath the quilt like this, and I can grab my finger. See, if you can grab your finger, it's not tight. It's nice and bouncy. I think the camera just makes it look like that. So I've had that question recently like 6 or 7 different times on a recent long arm video, and yeah, I'm like, no, it's not tight at all. All right, so I'm going to make my circle. I'm going to come in just like this, and right where it stopped. Can you see it? Yeah, you can see it. Maybe I can turn the other light off. Oops. Is that better? Let's see right now when I come around it. And they're not like particularly square because rose petals are not, yeah, see that light didn't help. This light helps. All right. And you can get bigger as you go around them. And you can like arch them. So I've just passed my starting point right there. So now I'm just going to throw in some really big leaves, just like that. So now I'm going to move on to my next. So I'm just going to loop till I get, I'm going to fill these sections in real quick. And plop the next one in right here. So I'm just going to come out. And I'm going to come right up here. One leaf. 2 leaf. I'm going to come to the top of this and then exit out up here so that I can fill in this space. We'll add a little one right here. And no, I did not get my new bobbin case yet, in case you guys are wondering. It has not come yet, but I keep an eye on this tension. So I stop after every pass and look underneath to make sure that it's good. And I'm making them all different sizes. Oops, and I'm out of bobbin. It wasn't a full bobbin because I try to use my half bobbins up too. So give me a second to change that. And if you don't know, let me grab the broken one. So see, let me try to get this to focus. See how this is flat and flush? There's no dents or anything. This is my old case. You can see it has a lot of wear and tear. This was the new one that we bought. Get it to focus. This right here, I could stick my finger under it. It's bent, and this whole side is bent as well. See my fingernails underneath it? The whole thing folded out this way. And now it doesn't work in there. So I don't know what's wrong. But If you've never seen a bobbin be changed, let's put one in here. This is which way. Your thread always comes off to your right hand. Place your bobbin in, slide it in the slot, and then up into that hole right there. And then to check it, you lay it on your hand, and if it lifts in your hand but doesn't come out of your hand, then it's perfect. If it lifts up completely, then it's bad. This one is one of those, it's kind of doing its own thing. It's lifting, it's not lifting. It's lifting, it's not. I also don't bury my threads. I come back a little bit. And I take a couple back and forth stitches. Snip that thread. Oops. I just turned that into 2 because I forgot where I was. And we're going to throw a leaf in right there. And then, let's see, can I exit out this way? I'll put one up here now. So essentially we're just making rose petals. Oh, and the tension looks off. Hold on, guys. I gotta look underneath real quick. It happens every time I change the bobbin. Let's see. All right. That's better. Yeah, because the case is old and messed up. So I'm going to come out right here, and then I'm going to and I do my leaves about the same. They always have an arch to them, and I always just, I never come back straight in it with a line. I curve it in so it makes that 3D effect of the rose petal, of the leaf. All right, so I'm going to come into this side and get that filled in. And you know, you don't even have to do a rose. You can throw in some leaves just randomly, and so I'm going to throw 2 random leaves in. Just make my way. Two seconds. I have a thread under here. Watch this. I want to make sure you guys can see this. Can you see that dark thread that's underneath right here? This is the tiniest crochet hook ever in the whole entire world, I swear. I'm going to poke it in. I'm going to grab that thread. And whoop, come on, we'll repoke it in a different spot. There we go. Grab that thread and look, I pulled it out. And then all I do is just smush that back down in there and voila. I don't know if you guys ever saw that before.
How many quilts did you mess up when you first started long arming?
How many quilts did I mess up when I first started long arming? None. None, really. I got frustrated a lot because I didn't have a big enough throat space when I first started. I was on the Juki on a frame. So I got pissed off all the time. You say what?
I said you'd probably say all of them because you're very picky.
Oh, yeah. Scott says I'd say all of them because I'm very picky. Yeah, I mess up every quilt because I'm picky, but that's just me. Have I ever used the serger to put together a t-shirt quilt? No. I actually watched a video the other day of a serger to put together a whole entire quilt. I'm gonna go around one more time. And right here. And exit. Do a little one right here. All right, let's do a giant one right here. All right, throw in some. And yes, this is hand guided, not computerized, in case you're wondering. And I do stitch this fast on a normal basis. I told you, in all of my quilting, everything I do is at top speed. even make them wiggle. To add motion to your roses. And now I'm finished with a row. So I'm gonna just tack this down real quick. And let the thing fall on its own. And I'm gonna disconnect my side snapper thingy-mabobbers, which are these right here. If you don't have those, you need some. It took me forever to learn how to even use them. Hold on, wait till I unsnap. All right. Oh, that's my high spot right there. Right there. It's good. Yep. Yep. Some spots are lower, so I want to fill in those spaces. So I'm going to baste my sides real quick and then put my clamps on. Back to my basting screen. I have no idea what's going on here. All right, baste the other side, and then I'm going to connect my little clampy things. All right, needle down. Can you see the edge right here? So there's like this channel. This is why I couldn't figure these out. There's this channel right here in these things. And you have to like hold it open, sliding the backing fabric into that channel. I got that side in. So I snap it. And then I just open this side up and slide it in. I can sometimes slide it without having to open it. And then it's grabby grabby. So it sits like that. And I'm yanking on it, and it's good. It's on there. I'm going to go get my other side, which you can't see, but I'm over here on the other side putting this one on. This one probably just slide right on because I'm not in front of a camera. That's how it works, you know. Yep, that one slid right on. Again, because it wasn't on camera. All right, I'm going to smooth the quilt out. I like to keep my quilt tops nice and smooth. I think it, for me, creates a better quilting experience to have everything smoothed out. And now I'm going to put it back in 10 stitches per inch and continue on. So this I can do 2 roses or 2 leaves that are kind of like next to each other. I'm going to exit out this way, I think. Yeah. Do I draw on paper an idea beforehand of what I'm going to do? No. What I showed you in the beginning when you first joined today's video and I drew it, I only drew it for you. Every now and then.
Yes and no, it depends.
It's a yes and no though, because sometimes I'll go to my book and go, how would this look? So I would draw, like a border or something, just like 2 straight lines. And then I would do whatever and go, okay, that'll look good. And that's it. Like, I don't really go a whole way out or anything. And only rarely, most times I can do this, and
small mock-ups
every now and then though I do small mock-ups, but I don't draw a full picture on paper. I just kind of a little whatever. Oops, I almost took that too far. I did take it too far, but I'm going to leave it. Kind of wonky, so I want more on this side and then come out. So I'm going to literally take right here, even if I finish that, I'm going to come to here now, and then no one ever came in. Again, let me check underneath. Down just a little. Sorry, it literally just goes as I'm stitching, like it's loose or something, and it doesn't tighten properly. I had a whole section yesterday. I was quilting. I was actually watching Becca at the time I was quilting, and I had a whole section, like literally, I don't know, a 15 by 15-inch section. Just like shoo, shoo, and I had to pluck it all out, and it was custom quilting too. The top looked fine, but the bottom went awry. So gotta pay attention. Put a big one right here. Which way do I need to exit? I need to exit this way. Backtrack, put my leaves in, then exit. Now, I want the camera to show you guys. Unplug it. Why it's too loud or something. All right, it's gonna be really loud without a mic, just letting you know. All right, I'm gonna unpop my clamp things.
I'll roll it. We're rolling. Rolling.
To right. Keep going. Keep going. A little bit more. Right there. Stop. Oh, I could probably just do this whole quilt in today's video.
Yeah, you're gonna be done in no time.
Yeah. I got like 2.5 more passes.
You only been on for 33 minutes.
All right, so I'm gonna base this right here on the side. It's nice and straight. I'm gonna go over to the other side and baste it. I'm gonna put my side clamp on over here before I even go over there. All right, smooth it out to this side. Slide my little clampy thing on. Come on. Oh, it's not going to go very well because that's on there. I just realized that. One side's bigger than the other. Oh, man. Come on.
You got this, my love. You got this.
You know what? I'm done with that. This side is the pieces come together. It sticks out farther, so the little clamp thing doesn't go on it right. I'm just going to put regular clamps on.
You're almost done.
Yeah, I'm almost done, so it really doesn't matter. All right. Here we go. Back to 10 stitches in. change the bobbin real quick. All right, what did it end? Where's the thread? It's pulling something from under there. Nope, it's not pulling nothing.
Bobbin's just old.
Yeah. All right, I'll snip that in 2 seconds. All right, now I can snip my thread. And let me look at the tension since I just changed the bobbin. Oh, looks good. All right, where was I? Right here. Yes, long arm bobbins are a lot larger. You would have to grab a small one just so they could see the difference. All these threads over here. Why do I have all these threads over here? I like to get the threads that end up sticking out of the seams as well while I'm at it.
I'm all trying to hold on to it so I can remember where I saw it. All right. Actually, I'm just going to go straight to baste. I'm going to pop that side clamp off and make both my side clamps the size of the quilt real quick. That size. That way I don't have to do the other ones. All right. Let's advance it. So I'm going to do a half pass and then a full pass because I don't think this whole thing is going to fit under a full pass.
We'll see here in a second.
Yeah. Nope. Stop right there. Yep, we're going to do a half and then probably another half because it's not exactly an equal amount. Yeah, there's about like 10 inches left. Straighten everything up, smooth it out. So here's a tip. You need to use your clamps. You know why? Because if you don't and you start quilting, by the time you get from this side to the other side, underneath here, if you have no clamps on, you can pucker it. And then underneath here, we'll have like a fold and then you'll stitch over it and you'll pucker your quilt. So you need to make sure you use your side clamps. They don't need to be super like pulley tight where they slide off. Just a little bit of pressure. You can see it wiggles a lot. It just keeps that fabric pulled out. So there's another little tip for especially those that are just starting with the long arm quilting and you don't really know yet. So there's another little tip for you. What?
How long have you long armed for clients? I don't even know.
I started long arming for clients about 6 months after the initial getting the long arm, but I did make quilts for clients. I just didn't long arm quilt their quilts. Yeah. We didn't start fully long arm quilting all the time for clients until I got this big machine. When I was just on my Juki, no, I didn't do it very often. Huh?
How big is this quilt, do you know?
This quilt is 50 by 62. I have the paper next to me. That's the only reason why I brought it out here with me so we can cut batting. A best weight thread for a domestic machine for quilting or for, you can use whatever you want for both machines. I like Glide for long arm quilting, but for weight, 50 and 40. I'm using 40 right now and it quilts wonderfully and looks beautiful, but I piece with 50. So I guess that would be your choice to figure out what you like. 50 is skinnier. So if you want tighter, you know, seam, you know what I mean, not so thick of a thread in between your seams, then I would go with a 50. So I don't have room on this side because I'm going to butt my next row up to it. So I'm going to put my leaves on this side. And I'm just adding 2 leaves per rows, which is pretty good. And then the 2 random scattered ones that are just randomly throughout. So, oops, I pressed the button too soon. I have a thread right here. I want to show you again if you missed it at the beginning. I have the tiny, tiny, tiny crochet hook, and I have a dark thread right here. So I'm going to pop that crochet hook under there, grab that thread, and pull it out. See that? And I have another one right here. I may have gone in the wrong direction. There it is right there. See? Look at how wonderful that is to have this tiny little crochet hook. Just be careful when you're going to pull it out because sometimes you can grab the actual fabric. So just grab that thread and then kind of like smooch it out. But that's the best way if you're trying to get threads between your whites, especially. You know, I always try to watch the batting and make sure that, you know, I trim all the thread between under the areas that are white. But every now and then one slips by. And it's nice to have this little tool.
50 weight is best to piece batik fabrics.
Yeah, I would use 50 weight for piecing batik fabrics. what's different about batiks? They are hand-dyed fabrics or hand-stamped or what, you know what I mean? They're all done by hand. And they're a little bit crispier. I think the weave is tighter on them. Personally, it feels like it to me. But they are 100% feel different. Sometimes they can feel waxy.
Let me do that. You didn't tell me you was ready.
Oh yeah, sorry. But it's quilting cotton either way, but batiks are used more in everything. There's a lot of stuff that's old style stuff that's made with batik, because everything before there was digital printing for fabrics, everything was done with the dye stamps. But they're cotton, so it doesn't really matter. Ooh. Sometimes it feels like it's going to be off, but it's not. So I pieced my own borders straight on this, and you can see I just used straight seams. I cut them by going by size, and there is no waving. They're perfectly flat. Just in case you guys were curious, everyone always asks me how I get such flat borders. I just don't do a diagonal seam, and I don't really measure like you're supposed to. This is the last cast, and then it'll be done. And I accidentally crossed over my flower, but guess what? I don't care. I mean, my leaf. Really dark thread right there. I better get it while I see it. Bam. See? Look at that. That was under there. I have no idea what I just did there, but I'm going to leave it. We always run out of bobbin at the last of the quilt. Like I literally have, like
right
30 inches times 30 inches by 10 inches left to quilt, and ran out of thread.
Likes messing with you.
Yes, it does like messing with me, that's for sure.
Do you ever have trouble quilting, seeing where you're at and not quilting over what you've already done?
I do have trouble seeing where I'm at. So if I don't keep my hand on the quilt, it shakes. So watch. I won't touch the quilt, even though it's weird. You see that? It makes my eyes blurry. But if you keep your hand on the quilt, then that doesn't happen. When it comes to lighting, lighting is important. I have a light in the throat space too. There's like a thing, you guys can't even see it, but it's up in there. That light, if I turn all this light and the above one that's right here off and the one above my head and only use that throat space light, it creates a shadow so I can see when I'm going back. When I'm coming towards me, I don't really have an issue. It's always going back towards the frame. When I'm coming towards me, I don't usually have a problem. So it's good to have good lighting. Must hold it. Hold the quilt. It's best to just hold your hand somewhere near it. I know a lot of people quilt two-handed, but you can train yourself to quilt one-handed. I'm going to do a quick check over the whole entire thing. Then I'll pull it off and show you what it looks like. So it'll sit about right here while I check the whole thing. And don't forget, if you didn't know, I don't know if I told you or not, but we're having a sale on Etsy, and all the quilts that are in Etsy, even though they're not marked down, if you contact us and you want one of those quilts, if you contact us through email, you will get a discount, a big discount.
Fans already get 10%.
Yeah,
but we're
fans
gonna
already get 10% off,
We're
but
gonna be doing 20 to 30%.
we're going to be doing 20 to 30% off all those quilts that are in the Etsy shop. Reason for the sale is because I have too much quilts. So if you have friends and family that want to buy a quilt, let them know to email me and they can get a big discount. All right, we're going to pull this now. This is easy. Hold on. Don't touch anything.
How much space do you work on at a time?
I work on, it's about, this is the space right here. So my machine, hold on, let's do this, goes from here to there. So I have all this space, but then think about it. This is going to roll up right here. Okay. So I always have from about right here to right here. The more the quilt is on this bar, so the fuller this bar is. So say I have a king size on here and it's right there. Okay. That's the space. Now I only have this many inches. Look at that. That's like, I don't know, 10 inches or so. So you just got to make sure the bigger the quilt, the more it's going to fill up this bar right here and the more space is going to be taken up. So just watch your designs. If you have an 18-inch machine, pantographs should be 10, 12 inches at the most. All right. This is how easy it is to disembark a quilt from the frame. You get to watch Scott stand there. All right. Literally, I moved the machine out of the way.
What age were you when you started quilting?
I was 30 something when I started quilting. Like 31?
I don't know. How many years ago?
32? 9 years ago, and I'm 44.
Yeah, you were 32.
Yeah, 32.
You
I
were
literally
32
just
when
spin
I-
this.
You were not quilting mine, I think. So no.
33 then. 34. I was 34.
35. It's 9 years.
Oh, well, I don't know. I am not good at math, whether it be.
It'd be 35.
Yeah. All right, here we go, guys. Here is. Goodness, tangle up. Why don't you? Thank you. There's the quilt. Again, it's like 50 by 62. Yeah, 50 by 62. So you can see all those lovely roses. I forgot the name of this fabric line too. It was a nice one, something, whatever. All right, let me turn it to the other side so you can see the back. Or Scott can just hold it up.
Oh.
So this is what they look like on the back. See that?
We should turn on this other light.
Yeah, I forgot to turn on the other light, but you can see it. It looks good.
Oh, turn on the light.
I didn't do anything.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So you can see the roses, the loop-de-loops, and the leaves. All right. And the main thing, before I pull it, usually, before I pull the quilt, I have this journal here, and it's filled, you know, all these pages are all quilts. I always write down the date for, what's today, 19? Yeah. 25. I go on my thing, and it has a stitch count on it. So this quilt has 54,615 stitches. 54,615. The quilt size is 50 by 62. I write that this is a floral fabric lap quilt. Well, if I do it in a video, I can always go back because I didn't name this quilt, but I'll know because I made most of these. Earlier today was gnomes. I did gnomes. So I pay, oh, mint thread. I pay attention to that. I write mint thread, and then I write that I did roses, leaf, and loops. And then I take the time. It took me, the machine ran for 38 minutes and 54 seconds. So I'm just going to take, it took me 40 minutes. I always put that because I want to know how many minutes I've used my machine in the end. Like when it blows up and be like, oh, wow, I did that many minutes. No wonder my machine don't work. You know what I mean? So, and then I refresh the screen and turn everything off. And it's in my book. And earlier today, which is really funny, ready for this? This one has 54,615 stitches and it's a 50 by 62. Earlier today, I did a 31 by 31 inch gnome quilt, and it has 56,312 stitches in it. That's a lot of stitches in that little quilt. But yeah, there's some quilts, big quilts have like 195,000, 141,000, 199,000, 168,000. You know, I pay attention to that. Keep track. All right. There we go. Look at that right there.
They want to see your drawers.
Oh, my drawers on the back side here.
Yeah.
I'll go. Oh, there.
Before you go, they want to see somebody else.
You're going to see his butt.
So? He's hiding in his chair. Look at him down there. He's sleeping. He's out of it. Okay, here. Now you can take
All
him.
right. Camera's moving, obviously. So behind the long arm, I don't have anything fancy. I have these drawers. So right here is Thumper's bed drawers, but these ones just have long arm quilting DVDs and books. That's it. That's all in those drawers. On this pile under there is a box that has all my rulers in it. I haven't organized them yet. So here's my drawers. My thread goes in here. So this is the pink and red. Then we have the orange drawer. Then the yellow. Let's pull that out. There we go. Yellow and cream. Then you guessed it. After yellow is green. After green. Oh, come on. Is blue. You can tell I have a lot of blues and a lot of greens. And then purple. And then move the frame or the long arm. Then we have a brown and like taupe colored drawer. A black and white and gray drawer. A book drawer and some of my pantographs. My bobbin case drawer, which every time I grab a color, they are marked. So if I need super white, white, linen, cream, or cool gray, they're all in this one. If I need steel, blue, cloud, royal, marine, and bright blue, they're all in this one. So they're all marked of what's in each one of these. I'm going to eventually do them all by color and put the color things in the drawer with their colors, but for now they're just in here. Then below that, like I said, I've told you guys before, I do use Isacord on my long arm because it is just like Glide, but it not as good to me, but it's almost. So I have a bunch of Isacord in case I need it. And some pantos that I designed. And then the bottom drawer has variegated threads and glow-in-the-dark threads and things that I don't use out here, which eventually I'll take in the other room. The only kind of variegated thread I use in here, I can't use Omni in this machine. It doesn't like it. But I can use this one right here, which is Infinity. So I can use Infinity variegated, but I can't use Omni V. I can use Harmony also, but it's very, very, very dusty. But yeah, so I use the Infinity in this machine. And then I really have to pay with attention to get it right. But most of these I can bring in the other room because these are cottons and I don't need them for this. I just haven't done it yet. And then obviously on the back of the long arm, you know, the thread, the bobbin winder and my disaster. Can you see my disaster? The red snappers are back here. I just keep them on the tray. I have a measuring thing back here. I have some rulers out. My little drawing thing in case I need to draw. And then I always cut fabric, junk pieces of fabric and little pieces of batting so I can test my tension on the sides of quilts. So like this section right here, that way I can test the tension before I start quilting. Obviously I know it's messed up, so that's about it. Oh, and then on this side I have a whole thing of rulers here, all of my needles and stuff, all my Angela Walters rulers, which I keep separate, and then my Toa gauge and my hand things for my arthritis. And then a drawer full of junk, because everybody has a junk drawer. And then an iron and a super loud speaker that I listen to loud music when I'm quilting on, not on camera, because I usually don't quilt on camera. Yeah, so normally I'm not on camera doing the quilting. All right. Any more questions? Ooh. The whole thing failed. Ta-da! All right. Well, I'm done. I've been here a while. It's time to make my way. Oh, the only thing you guys I didn't say.
How many yards of thread is on a spool? I think that's what
Those are the 55. I use the 5,500 yard spools. When you long arm quilt, you need one of these things to wipe. Okay, one of these dollar store stuff. You know. You also need, if you're going to ruler work, you have to have a ruler base to do ruler work. So make sure you get your ruler base with your machine. Yeah, and then oil. You need to oil with every bobbin change. Obviously, I didn't do it, but technically you're supposed to. And that's it. That's all of it. Oh, and another good thing to have next to a long arm, in case you're curious, a flashlight to look underneath. You know, just go, oh, hey, that's wonderful. And a seam ripper and so on and so forth. Anyways, I'm going to go. Bye, everybody. See you tomorrow.
Try to find the X. Hold on. There it is. Yeah.
Bye.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.